Hi, Prescott Valley. My name is Lori Hunt, and I am proud to be your Vice Mayor. Welcome to Channel 56, and I'm really glad you're here. We have some particularly important information for you today, and I say we because I have Bunny Troup with me from the American Red Cross, and she is the Community Volunteer Leader for Yavapai County. So welcome, Bunny.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
How are you?
I am well
today. It's a little
today,
windy
Lori.
out there now, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
We were really worried about our hair, so guys, you got to cut us some slack, those of you that are watching. But anyway, I want to thank Eddie and Mark for being here with us today, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. So, fire season is among us, unfortunately. And after meeting you a couple weeks ago, Councilwoman Dickinson and I chatted with you on the phone. I thought it was important to bring you here so that our viewers and our social media friends could get some information for you to prepare for fire season. So first off, tell me a little bit about what you do at Red Cross.
I do a number of things, but one of my larger jobs is a community volunteer leader, as you mentioned. So I am the forward face of the Red Cross, if you will, for Yavapai County. So I try to interact with a variety of groups, make presentations and inform people when necessary, solve problems, deal with the emergency management people to try and keep things straight. Anything that would need to be done, I will start the process and I'll get the appropriate people involved so that we are all working on the same page.
That's great. So speaking of that, when you talked about disaster management, we actually just did a tabletop with our police department and fire department not too long ago. The scenario was an upset semi-truck at one of our major intersections, and then there were other scenarios that popped in throughout the time, but it's really important to be prepared. And
Yes.
I am proud, again, of Prescott Valley and the Red Cross because we are prepared. Now we have this fabulous relationship with you.
Oh, great.
So what are some of the services Red Cross provides?
We have a large variety. Most people will think of blood drives when they think of the Red Cross,
Sure.
CPR, and some people remember swim lessons and that those are given. But we range from anything from house fires, we respond, or we are expected to respond when we're notified, to any house fire, flood, or disaster where someone cannot live in their home. And we do everything from that to service to the armed forces, to preparedness, education programs, whatever is needed. And we have a large variety. Of course, we also do big disasters, so we have shelter workers and all of those things. Most people would have no idea of how many services we actually do function in and perform for people.
Right, I've enjoyed hearing more, and I want to get back to the armed services because we have a lot of veterans here in Prescott Valley, and so I know they'll be interested in that, so thanks for bringing that up.
Sure.
So because it is fire season and our winds have been quite gusty, let's spend some of our time talking about fire protection. I'd like to give a shout out to our CAFMA crew, which is our fire department here in Prescott Valley. It's actually a district, but to our men and women there who recently assisted in the Tussock fire. I read the other day that it was 91% contained, and it was there in BLM area. And so we wish CAFMA and the men and women there and all of the administrators safety during this fire season, as well as Red Cross. So I found this amazing flyer at redcross.org/homefires, or you can go to #EndHomeFires. So I was hoping we could spend some time on this flyer. So the flyer is called "Don't Gamble on Your Family's Safety," and your flyer says that 2 in 5 adults think they're more likely to win the lottery than to lose their home in a fire. That's kind of a bummer comment, but it's important for us to talk about, I think. So can you tell me more about this and how we can better protect our homes?
Yes. Unfortunately, the statistics are more like 1 in 1,500 people will have a house fire. of some kind. Home may not be totally destroyed, but may be unlivable for some period of time, and hopefully everyone gets out safely. So the things you need to think about is, the very first is, make sure you have smoke alarms and make sure that they work. That will cut that ratio down tremendously. Secondly, make sure you have an evacuation plan. Get your family involved, know how you're getting out, and know where you're going to meet when you get on the outside. Pets, keep them in one spot if you can. At the minute you smell smoke, get everyone out the door, including those animals of yours. It's really important. Many people either don't have working smoke alarms or they have disabled them for some reason. Sometimes they go off. The truth is, they should be replaced on an average of every 10 years. Because, in fact, I just did mine 2 years ago, because they don't last forever, even the hardwired ones. So the key is thinking about safety and preparation. Have a fire extinguisher in your kitchen. Very important. Very quickly, something can turn into a fire on your stove, and you don't know what your reaction will be. Should you throw water? Should you cover it? Make sure you have an extinguisher. It's just a key to think about fire as something that could happen, not something that will never happen to you.
That's great advice. Thank you. So yeah, we talked about working smoke alarms. It's funny because at home, every time one of our smoke alarm goes off, and it doesn't happen very often, but one of the batteries beeps.
Sure.
I make my husband change all of them at the same time. Once one beeps, they all get changed, because I don't want to take any chances. And so that's just a rule of thumb that we've worked with. But you were talking about total replacement of the smoke alarm mechanism every 10 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and
Not
you
just
should
the
replace batteries every year on average.
Right.
And we have a program that can help with installing smoke alarms. There is no cost to the public.
Fabulous.
We have, of course, been curtailed somewhat due to COVID. It's been difficult. But typically we have a program where people can sign up. We might have a tabletop in an exhibition area somewhere, and we will make appointments with them. Sometimes we work in conjunction with fire departments, sometimes not. That depends on how their working is going. And we will go out and actually install the smoke alarms in people's homes. A lot of them don't know when they were put in. They may be renters. They have no idea.
Right.
So it's a very good safety program, and it has saved literally hundreds of lives across this country. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's your family, it's really important.
Right. It seems like they always go off in the middle of the night while you're sleeping.
Well, there's that.
So anyway, so our little trick is just change them whenever one of them goes out, change the whole kit and caboodle.
Sure.
So thanks for bringing that up, because I think that's really important. And I was watching a show the other day. It happened to be one of those fire shows, and a regular sitcom on TV. And there was a fire upstairs, and they had a fire extinguisher downstairs, but they didn't have one upstairs.
Yes.
So people don't think about that, I don't think.
No, they don't. And it's true for smoke alarms, and it's true for extinguishers. They need to be where you can get to them quickly and safely.
Right.
So yes, have one at least one on each floor for those extinguishers.
That's a good point. So I read about, when I was surfing the web, on Red Cross, and I highly recommend everybody go to redcross.org, because there's a lot of good information on there. I found this thing called the Pillowcase Project, Learn, Practice, Share, and they have a preparedness workbook. So I understand that it's for grades 3 to 5, and that you usually do it within the middle schools. So you usually do it within the middle schools, ages it's for grades 3 to 5, and you usually do it within the elementary schools with teachers and students about personal and family preparedness and safety skills, local hazards, and basic coping skills. So the awesome thing I found out about this is that I'm a grandma, I have littles, and my daughter homeschools our oldest grandson, so I thought I'm going to send this link to her because it had so much fun stuff in there for kids to learn about. Tell me more about that.
It's a really interesting project. We go into the classroom typically. Now, of course, we're doing it electronically. But the children usually get a pillowcase, and we deliver those to the schools. And the idea of the pillowcase is, if there was something that happened in your home and you needed to leave, what would you take? Change of clothes, medication, flashlight, bottle of water, favorite teddy bear, whatever it is, put that in the pillowcase. And to me, the biggest benefit of that I see is when that pillowcase is, whether it's in the closet or next to the bed, every time the child sees that, there's a recollection of, what should I do? We also teach them to go home and talk to their parents about what they learned during the day. Hi, Mom and Dad. Do we know how to get out safely? Do we know where to meet up afterwards? Is there a place, a tree, a street light? So it's a real good preparedness for that young age. We have a younger program too for kindergarten through second grade. It's a little bit different than this, of course. But it's important that children know how they're going to get out of a home should something happen, no matter what the reason, and that they know that they can feel safe at home because they're prepared.
So I think that's awesome. I'm going to go home and I'm going to get my husband and I a pillowcase.
Oh, there you go.
Because that doesn't hurt. I mean, you put your Bible in there, you put your vitamins in there, you put whatever, your purse. I mean, that's a great thing to remember. And it's great to teach kids that.
It's a good touchstone. You'll see that and think, okay, what is the plan we have?
It is. And hang it on a hook, and like you said, look at it every once in a while.
And you should practice leaving the house once a year at least, maybe twice a year. Just go through the routine. How do we get out? Right. Where do we meet? Because if you practice it enough, you won't feel panicked if something should happen.
Well, because I'll tell you, our kids are probably better at it than we are because they have drills at school.
Sure, yes.
So that's, I'm going to go home and get a pillowcase. That's a great idea. Okay, Bunny, one more flyer. I found this great wildfire safety checklist on your website, and I got some questions for you.
Sure, I'll try to answer.
What should I do to prepare ahead of time? Or better question, what are some tips for protecting a home from wildfire?
Okay, well, since most of us around here know about wildfires, sadly, all too well, the best thing you can do is keep debris away from your home, keep firewood away from your home, keep your plants trimmed, your tree limbs trimmed. Make sure you have as clean an area as you can. Be aware when fire season is here. It's coming earlier every year. This year it started in April. It used to be we worried in June only. Keep your radio or your television tuned if you're hearing anything at all about high winds, such as what we have today, possibilities of fires. Make sure your family, same situation, that they know where to go, how to get out of the area if they should need to be evacuated. There's just so many things that you have to think about. Have a water source nearby if you can. If you can wet down plants and things, you may be able to get a little more time and save your home. The main thing is make sure that you have, whether it's a pillowcase, a backpack, a small cooler, have your go kit ready so that if the call comes from reverse 911 or whatever else we're using, get your things and get out. Don't wait.
Here in Prescott Valley, we also use that Nixel system, Nixel. And it's through the police department. So you can find that on the website and they can text you or email you. So what should I do if there are reports of wildfires in my area? You kind of touched on that. Do you have anything to add?
Yes. Keep a close eye on things. Make sure that you check that something hasn't changed for some reason. Go outside, to be honest with you, and look at where the smoke is going, which way it's blowing. I say this from personal experience. When I was home one time, we had a fire, and my neighbor called and he said, "Are you looking out the window?" I said, "No." He said, "Go to the window and look and see the smoke." Yes. If that direction changes, you get out immediately. So you just need to be aware of what's happening. You need to be prepared to go. Make sure if you leave that you tell someone in your family where you're going and where you can be found. The Red Cross will, whenever there are wildfires and there's evacuations, we will open up shelters or evacuation centers, and people can come there, they can register, because a lot of people will think, I don't know where Mary went, but maybe the Red Cross knows. So they can contact us and we can say, we'll get your information to Mary and she can call you.
Great, and I saw that on this family plan. I know when my daughter was young, we always had a place where we would meet up if we got separated, or sometimes they say a phone number out of state where you would both call if you can't get through locally. So you still recommend all of that?
Yes, those are good plans to have.
So in wrapping up this segment we have here, tell me about the HERO program you have.
The HERO program is part of our Service to the Armed Forces, or SAF as we call it. Everyone has their acronyms, of course. Service to the Armed Forces and the HERO program works with active military, it works with veterans, and it works with military families. And the thing that people need to know is, I think people are familiar with, if there's an emergency at home, you can contact the Red Cross. We will try to work to get the person home. But we do so many more things than that. And we do it for life. So if you were in the Vietnam War, the Korean War, World War II, it doesn't matter how far back it goes. We will still provide those services to you. And those services include, for example, resiliency workshops. Well, what does that mean? A lot of it has to do with families who have people overseas, to try and get them to be as strong as they can. Mm-hmm. They run into issues. They may have rent money issues. They may have other things that come up. We can help with that as well. We have resources across this nation that works with our service, and we can provide them with lots of resources, caseworkers to help them get through difficult situations. There's just so many things that we provide. Reintegration when they come home and helping them get back into society. We work with the VA hospitals. Mm. We help with not only doing functions that are fun for them, cornhole, for instance, or something along those lines, but we also work with rehab visits. We do just a very wide variety. And anyone that's been in the military or is connected as a military family or a veteran can go to what's called the Hero Care Network. And all you have to do is just Google that, type it in, and it'll bring it up for you, and it will connect you to a myriad of services for you and your family members.
That's good to know. And again, it's Hero Care Network.
Correct.
Just Google that. Mm-hmm. We'll try to put that up on the screen. You have a phone number too, right?
We have an 800 number for the Red Cross that you can contact us. And that number is 800, and excuse me because it's 351-1309.
So again, that's 800-350-1309.
Correct.
Thank you, Bunny.
Yes.
So this was a lot of really good information, and thank you for what you do for our servicemen and women. And they don't have time to worry about their families at home, and they can rest as comfortably as they can in their situation, knowing that the Red Cross is here if their families need help. And also our veterans. I really appreciate that. Do you have anything, we're going to close now, do you have anything else to say to us?
I'd like to thank you for having me here, because part of my job is to educate people as to what is available from the Red Cross. We can help people if they know that we can help them. And we always need volunteers.
Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to ask. How can we help?
You can go to redcross.org,
okay,
and it will let you sign up as a volunteer. It's a very simple process, and then you will be contacted by us. We'll talk to you about what you're interested in, where we might need your help. We can find jobs for people. It is amazing the number of jobs that we have within the Red Cross. And to be honest, we're never, ever in a position where we can say, we have enough volunteers to do the job.
Right. What about money donations? Can we do that online too?
You can do money donations, yes.
Okay.
There's a way to do that online, and it's a very simple process as well. Everything is on the redcross.org website for folks.
Great. Thank you, Bunny. So Prescott Valley, please visit redcross.org and see how you too can get involved. Thanks.
You're welcome. I hope we get to see some new members.